And this is of course even more important than ads campaigns because, as we said, we need to make sure to differentiate mobile and desktop devices. So first of all, you're going to have a catchy title. The catchy title can be pretty much similar for desktop and mobile users. Then you're gonna have a display URL, which doesn't need to be a real URL, but I would actually create a page that is exactly your display URL in order to make sure that people typing it in the browser would actually land somewhere in case they want to do that. Then the benefit or feature, it is actually pretty much device specific, because if somebody is looking to book a restaurant in Chinatown with a mobile device, they might not have the time to look at your menu. So the benefit is not look at our variety of meals here, but it could be mm, the best Chinese food in Chinatown, or something that is more of something they don't need actually to double check, but they just give it to them. And finally, the call to action. This is really much mobile specific because on mobile devices it could be call us now to reserve a seat, or it could be call now and book your reservation. While if you're using your computer, it can be look at our menu now, or uh, contact us now. So the contact shouldn't necessarily be a call. They can actually write an email or book your reservation right away. Or they can actually use their mobile device to call you. So it's really different between the two devices. So keep it in mind while creating your advertisements. And optimizing is not only about ads, but it's also about keywords. So first of all, let's talk about the differences among desktop and mobile devices. Desktop users are usually more they're usually fine googling longer keywords because they have a keyboard and they don't have to use a small screen, and they actually have a longer decision process, so they would actually look through more alternatives before booking anything. While mobile users, they usually prefer shorter keywords, so mid keywords, let's say, and they prefer shorter decision process, and they are more comfortable with geo-targeting keywords. So with geo-targeted keywords, I do not mean, for example, New York, because also desktop users geo-targeted keywords, but they are actually using a particular part of the city. So if they are currently in a particular zip code and they want to find a restaurant there, they would actually be really specific when it comes to geo-targeted keywords. So keep it in mind while creating your keyword list. And that's also why I wouldn't suggest to mix up mobile and desktop keywords. So first of all, when you optimize keywords, keep in mind that you need to use different campaigns for desktop and tablet devices and mobile devices. The bigger your campaign is, the more differentiated it needs to be, basically. So make sure to optimize the bid by keyword, because it can be that different keywords require a different bid, and this is particularly true when you talk about different devices. So you cannot just use a bid variation adjustment to reflect all the behaviors of your customers. And differentiating the campaigns, you can actually learn more about the habits of your customers and create more optimized campaigns, landing pages, and websites. Also, monitor the difference in the quality score, which is mostly depending on the CTR, but just monitor it and find out why your mobile desktop devices is higher or not. Like, they also be the same, that would be great for you. So also make sure to track the differences in the CPA. What's more profitable for you, mobile or the desktop device? So find that out in order to know where you need to focus your efforts. So now we are going to talk about quality score. Quality score is fundamental in order to actually pay less to get more. So how does Google calculate the quality score? Is pretty easy. So first of all, you have a quality score calculated on desktop devices, and the quality score calculated on mobile devices, and the quality score also on tablet, even though desktop and tablet are always going to be now considered one old thing. So Google shows you an average one, but it doesn't mean that this is the quality score of your keyword. That means that the average is, for example, 7, but it might be that you have a higher quality score on desktop, let's say 8, and a 6 quality score on mobile, and you see a 7. But Google, even though you have an announced campaign, is always going to consider the quality score per device. So the quality score in enhanced campaign, first of all, you need to know that for desktop only campaigns, you're not going to have any trouble. You're going to set up a mobile bid of minus 100% and everything is going to be all set. So while you work on mobile campaigns instead, you need to make sure to recreate the exact same conditions as you had before enhanced campaigns in terms of advertisement, keywords, and the landing pages. And do not worry about the device combination in enhanced campaigns, because Google will always consider the quality score by device. So it wouldn't matter if you see different numbers than before, because Google actually keeps it into consideration. So let's now talk about something really important, about some of the rules of quality score. So first of all, the CTR is the most important component in determining your quality score. The advertising position does not influence your quality score. The bid is not part of your quality score. The conversion rate does not influence your quality score. The quality score is the most important factor in determining what appears on top of the page. Also, a few bad days of performance do not affect your quality score. Paused or not running campaigns do not influence the quality score, and the restructuring your account does not have any effect on the quality score if you do it the right way. So let's now talk about shared libraries, which is one really important change that was introduced by Google. They're actually rolling out newer functions on a daily basis almost, but the most important ones that I will need to know about are the shared ads, shared budget, and campaign placement exclusion. So shared ads are really easy to understand. You create an advertisement and you can use it into multiple ad groups. So the advantages are it's really fast, you can actually save a lot of time and scale one single advertising message to multiple campaigns. So the ideal campaign would be a branded campaign that you want to use across several states. So you have many campaigns for different states, and then you use the same branded ad all over the brand ad group. Disadvantage is that you cannot do a modification in an ad group level. So every time you modify something, everything changes, and you cannot optimize on performance because of what we just said. Shared budgets instead are a really interesting change. So what shared budget does is creates a budget, for example, $100 per day, and you can tell that an X amount of campaigns, so let's say 5 out of your 10 campaigns, will all have the same money to take their budget from. So the moment you finish the $100, the campaigns will not run anymore, so they will all share the same daily budget. This is really easy in case you know how much you want to spend, and in case you don't know how much actually how to allocate your money. So you want to say, okay, the best ad group, I want that the best ad groups are just going to use the majority of the money, and that's what's going to happen, because who gets most traffic gets the most of the shared budget. Disadvantage is that you lose some control, so you cannot just change the budget for one campaign, but you will need to actually move out the campaign from the shared budget, and then you can allocate a custom bid. So you kind of lose some flexibility by doing that. The shared budget can be set up in a really easy way. You need to log in your AdWords account and go into the share library. Once you're in your share library, you need to click on budgets and then on new budget. Once you're in the new budget page, you actually need to insert the name for the new budget. You need to say which campaigns you want to apply the shared budget for. You can actually change the campaigns you want to apply for later on as well, and insert the amount. So once that's done, you're up and running. Just keep in mind that, let's say, if you set up a shared budget of $100 a day at 4 p.m., you're going to start to advertise from zero starting from 4 p.m. So it doesn't matter how much cost you accrued until 4 p.m., it will restart from zero. So you can actually spend all the money you spend until 4 p.m. plus $100. So keep it in mind while creating the shared budget. You can actually read this example later to actually find out more how it would work. So campaign placement exclusions are actually pretty interesting, because what you can do with them is relatively smart. So you can actually create a list of websites you don't want to advertise on and copy this list on all display campaigns. This is really good in case you always have a number of websites you don't want to advertise on. But of course you cannot use just a partial part of this list. You need to make sure to actually use all lists that you have in your announced campaign. So you wouldn't say that, for example, I want to use a partial list of campaign placement inclusion, so you actually need to create negative placements including these websites, and you cannot say I want to advertise on a part of the list that I've created. Overall, this is really useful, and I use it in all my display campaigns. And this is very important to understand. This topic is fundamental for the success of your campaign. So how to create click-to-call campaigns in your announced campaigns. So first of all, let's say how call extensions give you the opportunity to target desktop, tablet, and mobile users with free calls from tablet and desktop users. So how it works that see a number, if they call using a landline, you don't pay for it, while before you would have paid the cost of a click or like $1 per call. So you can actually track the number of calls you're getting, and you can set up a conversion in terms of length of the call. And finally, so cheaper, so you might end up saving some money with the cost per conversion. So in order to set up an effective click-to-call campaign, you need to keep in mind that the advertising message is targeting a mobile user, so you need to be customized following the rules we mentioned before. Also, you need to make sure that you insert a call to action that is mobile specific, and you don't need to include the phone number neither in the headline nor in the description line. They would disapprove it in desktop devices. In mobile devices, they might leave it there, but actually you are wasting some characters, because if you have an ad extension, the ad extension will be placed in the text anyway. So if you want to receive calls, make sure to have a proper setup. So you will not have the screenshot you see here. I just used an old one in order to show you how to set it up in the past, but it would not change much. So you basically wouldn't have show my ad width. You would just modify the show the following links, and you would click just the phone number. So whenever your ad extension shows up, you can actually get just a call. You cannot have people clicking on your landing page. Of course, if you want people on the landing page, you need to click both my website and the phone number. Also, if you are a service business, it is much easier to generate calls, because you actually need to talk to somebody before buying a service. So this doesn't work for an e-commerce, because on e-commerce you first see the products and then maybe give a call to know more about the product. However, if you are talking about high-end products such as interior design, for example, you might actually want to look into giving a call and asking more about their experience and whatever you might want to know while you do interior designing. So this is really important to understand. So you need to find out if your business is actually good for click-to-call campaigns. And after that, we are going to talk about optimized site links. And optimized site links are really important because they give you the opportunity to actually focus on improving even more your CTR and conversion rate. So first of all, whenever you set up your site links or announced campaigns, they're going to be approved singularly. So you can actually look at singular statistic per site link, and you will have the opportunity to decide which ones to run or not. So for example, what I would do is, let's say we have 4 to 6 site links. Site link number 1 wins our test and will be retested against other site links. Ideally, we run 4 to 6 site links every time, because Google will not show more than 6, and also less than 4 is not ideal from a best practices point of view. So you can actually customize your site link by ad groups, so this will reduce the complexity of your campaigns, and we also have the opportunity to not worry about disapproved site link, because you would just need to work on the disapproved one and you can leave the others as they are.